Let me introduce three individuals here to show us how women and mothers are powering online and offline change. Kessler is the founder and creative director of Catapult. I was just telling her, they came out of nowhere and are just bringing and driving great actions. Byrd is the co-president of Games for Change. I know we're all trying to crack the gaming community. And Gurkoff is the founder of Charity Miles, so keeping us fit and doing good. Leading this discussion is our close friend and partner from Mashable, Stacy Martinet. Please join me in welcoming them.
Hello there. Good afternoon. It is such an honor to be here and to be among such interesting panelists. I am the Chief Marketing Officer at Mashable, and as Elizabeth mentioned, we do a lot of work with the UN Foundation and the 92Y around how social media is being used for good. And I am particularly excited to be at this event to talk about Moms+Social. Moms are many, many things. They are, women of the world. They are breaking glass ceilings, they are having careers, they are having families, they do it all. They are early adopters. And that's what this panel is about platforms that people are using to create change for women, for girls, for moms. So I think because we are very much a new platform panel, before we get into the discussion, we're gonna kick it off with some quick videos to tell the story. So can we roll the videos, please?
Join the global movement to empower women and girls. Inspired by the #1 New York Times best-selling book, Half the Sky, by journalists Nicholas Kristof and Cheryl Wu Dunn.
And I wanted to galvanize people into action.
And they did, through an acclaimed TV series and now an adventure game on Facebook. Supported by the world's leading organizations, including the Ford Foundation, Zynga.org, and Intel, play a groundbreaking game and make a real-world impact. Recruit your friends and unlock donations such as free books and life-saving surgeries. Give back while having fun.
Because we know it takes a world to bring about this change.
Half the Sky Movement, the game, coming March 4th on Facebook.
My name is is Denise Claycomb. I'm married to Steve Claycomb. My sons are Stone and Hawk Claycomb. They are both on the autism spectrum. A lot of times, especially early on with my children, it would just really help to clarify my thoughts. I would really become aggravated with other people's lack of understanding with my children, and running was a way for me to just try to figure out a way to work out that aggravation and to think of something I can get this person to understand, what's going on with my child. Using Charity Miles helps me feel that when I am out running, I'm not only helping myself, but it's a way of helping other families and children along with my own.
You are the first person to do 2,000 charity miles.
Denise, we're so proud of you for what you did.
2,000 charity miles.
Well, as the online world increasingly moves towards storytelling through media and multimedia and visuals, I think this gives us a great sense of what these three organizations are really trying to do to help us all change the world. So I'd like to ask each one of you how moms in particular are engaging on your platforms. Gentlemen first here.
So I'm Gene. I'm the founder of Charity Miles, and Charity Miles is an iPhone and Android application that allows anybody to earn money for charity whenever you walk, run, or bike. So even if you're just going to walk to the subway after this, you could help earn money for Girl Up or Shot at Life. A lot of the all the UN Foundation partners are working with us. So, and the mom community in particular is the driving force behind our success. Over about 65% of our members are women, and the average age is 33. And the mommy blog community has really just taken this and made it their own thing. So we've had tremendous success over this past year, and I think a main part of it has been the mom community.
And so the mommy bloggers have really been instrumental in amplifying, getting
Yeah.
the platform going and, and growing it.
My operation is me and one other person, and I don't have a PR team or anything to spread the word, so it's all been word of mouth, and I didn't really know what the mommy blogging community was about until we started this. And not just the mommy blogging community, but the mommy tweeting community and the mommy strolling community. Like a lot of women use our app when they're just strolling their babies around the city, and it doesn't necessarily have to be online to be a social thing, and it's that real world interaction that moms are just part of these social dynamics in a way that maybe other dads aren't. I don't know, but like that is just an incredible way it's driven our success.
And Michelle, you work around social networks and gamification.
So Games for Change is a nonprofit. We're based here in New York, and we were approached by, the second video was ours. We're executive producers on a game called Half the Sky Movement, the game. It's on Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, you can access the game quite easily. And the mission, or the mandate we were really given from Nick and Cheryl was, we really care about women and girls. We've written this book. We want to figure out a way where we can reach new audiences. So people who are not reading Nick's column in the New York Times, who are not watching PBS television series. So that's really why a game on Facebook. Trust me, to make a game on Facebook was not like an easy thing to go out and do. As Asi, who's hiding, Asi Barak, who is my colleague and co-president at Games for Change, really the fact that this game even exists is a testament to him and to the rest of the team, Frema Studio. But the reality is that 300 million women, unique women per month, are on, are playing games on Facebook.
300 million?
300 million.
That is a huge number.
So when you think about going where people are, that's the whole reason why You know, the idea of taking a game that's dealing with sex trafficking, fistula. Who would really think that Fistula and the Fistula Foundation is an organization that you would promote in a game, an adventure story on Facebook? So it was really, you know, for us as executive producers of this project, it was figuring out going where your audience is and engaging them and getting them excited. And there are 800,000 plus people since we launched on March 4 playing this game. And 80% of the people playing the game, women. 80% of those people, age of mothers. So the community of people who are at this event, who are writing about this event, who are telling their networks, that's our audience. And you know, we've got great stories where people are writing into us about playing with their sons and daughters. And if we have time, I can even share a couple stories with you.
Maz?
Hi, I'm Maz Kessler. I'm the founder of Catapult, a crowdfunding platform for girls and women. And when we started to make Catapult, we were trying to answer some really basic questions. How can people help was the main question we really wanted to answer. There's so many great communications efforts going on. There's a new priority for girls and women's issues around the world, and there's a lot of people who really want to get involved and really help. And on the other hand, we have all these magnificent organizations down on the front lines working for girls and women in difficult, dangerous situations, doing the everyday work that it takes on all of these issues. And the difficulty for some of those organizations is that so many of them are terribly underfunded. So we wanted to put the pieces together, we wanted to reach new audiences, and we wanted to start supporting those organizations doing the work on the front lines. Our audience is actually 50-50 men and women. We have lots of mums. We've had great support from mommy bloggers in general, but we do split equally between men and women, and it's something we're really excited about, actually, to start to have that audience be both men and women. We have lots of ways that people can get involved in the platform. You can form a team. We have some brilliant mums teams, and they can fundraise for particular organizations or particular projects. So we launched in October, and we're about 7 months in. Is that right, math? 6, 7, 8 months in. And we're really excited to be funding a lot of these organizations and work on the front lines.
So a theme that I hear and I've seen from the work that you all have done is really about new audiences, because you're all at startups that really have created something from nothing on pretty new platforms in the grand scheme of things. Are there things that you've learned or tactics you've taken to grow audience on these platforms that you could share with the folks here? I mean, you mentioned PR through moms. I mean, moms are the original publicists, right, for us all. Are there any things that come to mind that you could share?
Yeah, for me, part of my experience is I helped found Team Fox for the Michael J. Fox Foundation, which is our grassroots organization, running, walking, biking, having parties, playing golf to raise money for Parkinson's research. And what I learned through that, because we didn't really have much of a budget or infrastructure to do anything with it, is that you have to just kind of let people do what they're going to do and give them the basic infrastructures and that they need to be leaders themselves. And what I think was so great about what we've done with Charity Miles is that that infrastructure just existed. That mommy blogging and tweeting and running and strolling community just existed, and all they needed was a little tool to empower them to be the leaders themselves. So I didn't really need to do any PR. That if you just give somebody just a little bit, they can take it and run with it. No pun intended.
We're pro puns here.
Yeah.
Well, because we're a game on Facebook, I mean, so when you think about it, the new frontier for us really was the fact that this is a game on Facebook. And we all felt that this was an issue, you know, the issue of women and girls and the global development. We felt that the decisions around philanthropy and getting involved in kind of the tough issues, that this was an audience of women, you know, who are of childbearing age moms who care about the future generations. So a lot of our advertising effort has been exclusively on Facebook, you know, because it's really trying to leverage off of that platform. You know, when you think about Facebook or any social network, it's really about the sharing. So people like to share, you know, it's amazing the amount of stories and really just great pieces of information. Like one of the unintended consequences, you might say, is we had no idea that women would be playing this game with their kids. it wouldn't have seemed like a natural. Who would know that they're playing with their sons and daughters, 6 and 10 years old? And if you think about it, a kind of adventure story-based game is a way to engage without going too deeply, but to start. So when you think about it, when you're trying to teach your kids about what's going on in the world, there aren't probably all that many tools that are interactive that they can grasp and sort of start to understand what these issues are.
So we've worked through social channels as well, and Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We have, as I said, we've had men coming to our Facebook channel in equal measure. The other thing that we've done is actually formed some great partnerships. We have a partnership with a new initiative going out called Chime for Change, which is very exciting to us because it's a campaign which is very celebrity-driven, led by some remarkable women, including J-Lo, who was just here. But it's going to be a huge concert in London on June 1st, and the audience is going to be young. So we're very excited about bringing, the 15 to 25 audience into our issues and then keeping them engaged. How do we talk to them? So one of the things that Catapult does, which we think is new, is that once a project is fully funded, it reports back to all of the donors over a year. And it's completely transparent. It tells them at 3 points during the year how it went. You gave us the money, all of you donors. We said we were going to do this. We published our budgets. This is how it went. We succeeded here. We succeeded better than we thought here. We didn't succeed here. And why didn't we? Maybe there were floods. Maybe the price of oil went up. So it's a very interesting way to keep engagement with our users with these social touch points, if you will, along the course of the project. And I think something we're really excited about is a new appetite for transparency. This sort of solutions generation is less interested in being spun and more interested in what really happened. And we know this from some other organizations who've been very bold about live telecasting. For example, a project that they did, and what they saw was huge engagement even when it didn't work. So I think for all of us talking to people, getting them involved in social change, it's very heartening that people really care about solutions. They want to know why it worked and why it didn't work, and that doesn't drive them away.
What are some of the challenges you find with working with newish platforms?
That they don't break.
Yeah, that they don't break. I think last night we got right before I went to bed, I saw a note, there was a series of emails from people on staff about, there being a change on Facebook's policies or, some Facebook thing. There are certain things when you're building content media that's not on a platform that you own, you don't control their housekeeping, if you will. And also that you're kind of a pioneer. So when you think about it, and part of the reason why Games for Change is a nonprofit, it's not a studio. So part of the reason why we got involved in this project is there hadn't really been a game for good, if you will, that had really tried on an aggressive level, on competing with a commercial product to bring in commercial, publisher and developer, game developer, and even, PR and marketing. There hadn't really been that effort. So that's really kind of why we got involved, because we're hoping that people will see what we've been able to do, what we succeeded at and what we failed at, and we're to your point about transparency, I've been the bad one, I will admit. I've been slow in doing mine, but everybody else on the team has written, sort of their what's worked, what hasn't, and we've posted all on our website. So really, there's kind of a responsibility if you're going to be a pioneer in paving the way and showing what worked and what didn't.
Why I'm actually excited to be on this panel is I think all three platforms are trying to reach new audiences in a new way. And when you do that, every single day, there's a million challenges, just constantly, all the time. If you have a day where there's not a challenge, it's so relaxing. It's fantastic.
What day is that?
I haven't had that. Okay. Is that Sunday
Sunday
night?
morning.
Sunday night, I was going to say. But what's cool is that you're making decisions, and if you're sort of pushing the envelope, you're constantly trying to figure things out that may not have been figured out before. And there isn't a roadmap. And sometimes on a really good day, you get it right, and it's terrific. So I do think the challenges are constant, and just never ending.
And and what I love about the parody here is that, isn't that what being a mom is like, right?
Indeed.
Jean said something which I thought was so profound, which was, people are going to do what they want to do and what they need to do. And if you lay infrastructure for leadership, that's where you're going to get the results. And I think, when I think about my mom, and I'm very lucky, I also have a stepmom and a grandmother who was very instrumental, that's what they did. So I love the parody of this new platform and being pioneers and learning as you go and just iterating. Something that we see at our company every day. I mean, we don't know when the next Google Plus or Pinterest is going to come, and we don't know if it's going to be successful, but we've got to be there and we've got to try it. And and we have great partners here in the UN Foundation, 92Y, and Bill and Melinda Gates, who will just jump in and try those things too. And so I think it's very much a spirit of entrepreneurship. So I'd love to ask you, because you're all working in nonprofits, which is hard. You're all working in startups, which is hard. You're all working on newish platforms, which is hard. What inspires you to keep going, to build?
That woman, Denise Claycomb, inspires me. And we have 100,000 other people like her. They're not all running 13 miles a day. Some of them are just, walking, and that makes a huge difference. And we get emails and tweets and Facebook posts and Instagrams and Pinterests and letters from them telling us their stories. And it's so rewarding to hear that on a personal level, that, a family, every night walks after dinner, they walk a mile. And because both parents have an iPhone, so they're both doing it. They walk with their kids, and they're walking to raise money for Feeding America. So they have dinner, and then they walk a mile, and they feed 8 people as a family. Those kinds of stories inspire me.
Yeah, I'm not a mom, so I'm like you. You're not a mom.
I'm a mom.
Unless you're a mom, and I don't know.
I'm an uncle.
I think working in nonprofit in general is a very maternal. It really plugs into your maternal instincts. I've worked pretty much my entire career in nonprofits, and I think, the thing that's interesting to me is that, I think probably moms are very stubborn. So, if you are growing up and there's not enough, you want that special sneaker or whatever it is, your mom has spun some crazy story she's told you about, why you can't have it yet, or, whatever it is, and maybe she can't afford it, or whatever the thing is. And I think, in working in a nonprofit, you've got this kind of strange maternal instinct about wanting to just solve a problem. I mean, it's as basic as that. And I think going into the sort of nonprofit social good space, it's like do-gooder on steroids or something. So you've got like this massive desire to really make a difference. And so you're pushing people on your staff that this really, really matters. You need to take it seriously. We're all in it, not because we're making loads of money, because we aren't. We're in it because we really think that this is important. And if 800,000 people are playing this game around the world, and it's delivering books and helping with fistula surgeries and doing real on-the-ground, real-world things, that's really important. So we need to, participate in that. So for me, it's very personal about, am I doing work which on some level is rewarding on a personal level, but also is it improving the planet on some other kind of level?
I'm so inspired by the potential of technology to change the world for the better, to connect people in ways we can't imagine, to allow people's voices to be heard from the farthest places, to be able to listen to them, to stop broadcasting and actually listen to what people are able to say, that the tools they need in order to change the contexts of their own lives. I'm incredibly inspired by that. I am a mum, actually. I'm inspired by my son, who's 14, and who, when I come home tearing out my hair, says, "It'll be great, Mom, it's great." I'm like, ooh. So he keeps it fun. And that's it.
And part of the reason why I think we're all here today is to learn from each other and help each other. And this is a very influential crowd who's in the audience here. They have vast networks in real life and in online across all platforms. So, and these are 3 very important projects that you're all doing. How can the folks here and in their networks, how can they help you to spread what you're doing and to amplify that and to take on a new project or help your platforms?
Well, we'd love to hear from anybody, of course, what you're interested in, what you think, we can help to fund through Catapult. And then we also have some structures on Catapult for people to really put a little more skin in the game. We have team structures. You can either create a invitation-only team for your friends to fundraise, or you can have an open team that anybody can join, and you can elevate the issues that way. We are dedicated to action. You know, we want to partner with great communicators. Our role is to take the energy that comes from great communicators and turn that energy into action for the people on the front lines. So any way that you can communicate about us, we are 100% pass through, and we will take that energy and we'll dedicate it straight out, and you get to choose exactly where your money goes.
Well, if you think about it, the majority of you are working on a platform where, and have an audience that are probably already playing Facebook games. So we would love to hear, one, if you help spread the word, that's always fantastic. We have some incentives if you'd like some free energy and things like that when you're playing your games on Facebook. You can just go to the websites, facebook.com/halfthegame. I think we have some promotional codes we can give people. Ashley is here, Ashley Alicia, who's our community manager, but she's all the way in the back. Wow, she's got a light on her almost back there. Yeah. Blogging away. So we hope you'll spread the word to your community. And really what really matters for us is hearing from you. So what do you think? You know, is this the kind of way you want to engage? Do you like playing games on Facebook that are doing good? What are the features that you like? Leave us messages on our fan page. Let us know, what's working. Are your readers, do they enjoy this kind of engagement? And for us, it's also figuring out our mission isn't to, we're not in the, we have NGO partners, so we're not on the ground doing this work. We're working with UN Foundation and others. So it would be really important for us to think about what's that arc that takes players back into the real world to kind of push them into some of the organizations that you might want to support. So it's really hearing from you, I'd say.
For me, it's really simple. Most of you already have your phones out. So for those of you who don't have your phones out, please take them out and download Charity Miles. I can't really tell how many people here, maybe 100, 200, but it's a free app. It costs you nothing, and for every mile that you walk, you have a real impact. So for example, for Girl Up, which we've heard from today, every mile that you walk, you will send a girl to school for a week. So if all 100 people in here do that, we could send...
And we're in New York, so we're walking a lot.
We walk a lot. And a lot of us are going to walk to the subway, or we're going to walk home. Just walk a mile for Girl Up, and tell the communities that you reach through your networks, whether it's through Facebook, Twitter, a blog, in person. Tell your friends over dinner, because every mile really matters. I mean, imagine that you walk a mile and you send a girl to school for a week. So I hope that everyone in here will download the app and use it, and tweet to me, tell me what you think, give me feedback, and thanks for spreading the word.
So we're out of time here, but this is how you can reach us, since we're a social conference on social media, and it's all in the program. I want to thank the three of you for a great conversation, and I know it'll continue both on and offline, and there's an incredible panel coming up next. So thank you all for your time.
Thank you.